Hi there, thanks for joining us upstairs again at the garden next to Charlie Parker's. It's autumn.
Yes, and then we have planted already some tree, which they're going to help us to go through the cold season.
Unfortunately though, we've run out of space. So to make plans for the upcoming menus and the upcoming seasons, we're going to put in a new raised garden bed and we're going to show you how to do it.
Let's go. Yeah.
So, first things first, obviously we need to find a space for which to put our planter bed. Something that is relatively flat. We're going to use like a 1 meter by 1 meter squared space. So we're thinking just right here will be the perfect place to go.
Yes, next to the stairs on the corner, we'll get the right amount of light, of sun. It's good, yeah.
Cool. So these planter beds you can pick up from most gardening centres. They are really simple. They probably have instructions, but effectively you've got 3 different pieces you've got to put together. So hopefully between the 2 of us we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Alright. There we go. And down. Beautiful. If you were building this on top of maybe some soil, you would be more than happy, no issue whatsoever, just to leave this as is, obviously welcoming the nutrients and plants and insects and worms, but because we're putting this just on a concrete surface today, as we've done with the other spaces, we're just going to line the base ground just with some hessian sack. That's just going to help to contain the garden in one place, and should we need to move it, or if there were potentially any contaminants from the ground below. There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
Great. So now if we think as far as the soil build-up's concerned, we've got that layer at the bottom that's going to help to protect, if we need to move this at a later date, while also be breathable enough that we're not going to have soil pooling down there. Those stones on the base layer are going to make sure that the roots don't become too kind of soggy, and then we've just got a nice layer of organic compost, a couple of layers of our potting mix, which is specific to the types of products we're going to be putting in, and then we've got another layer of the compost on top. Generally speaking, when you've got a planter box, especially when you're planting various products, is that you want to have kind of a half a square meter per plant, and you can, in a really simple way, kind of using anything from string to, we're just using a couple of these training bamboo sticks. Now this is quite a big heavy plant, nonetheless. You've always got to remember with plants, this piece here that kind of sits half outside of the soil, on top of the soil, and half underneath, that's kind of like the nucleus of the plant. That's where it's transplanting or transforming all of the energy from down here in the soil into the leaves and branches and fruit and different plants cases. So when you're taking the plant out, you just want to be really careful.
You don't want to break the soul of the plant. Always be careful, as Sam will say, with the middle of the root.
Yeah.
What you actually can do, because a big plant, so we can maybe break down this a little bit so then the root they can spread around the soil, considering it's quite strong already. Always try to give love to them. Always love. If you give love, they will give love back to you. Yeah, looking good. Wow. This is gonna go mad. I already know. This is gonna grow a lot.
What do you think we're going to put on the menu with this? You got any ideas already?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm gonna try.
I
know that we already had a drink with rhubarb. We had a twist of El Presidente. For sure the characteristics of rhubarb in drinks are great. So we're gonna come out with something very nice.
Just making sure that we're not damaging that too much. So we'll place that down in the soil. As you can see, that's sitting about in line with the rest of the soil that we have.
Now we kind of want to press a bit on the side to help incorporate the soil, but not too much, because it's something that the plant is gonna do it by itself. So we're gonna go with the blueberry.
Yeah. So what we'll try and do now that we've got this cross piece here is we'll try and make sure these both yet again have a bit of space. They're slightly smaller plants.
And again, if you wanna be fancy, you can use the tools. We go with the hand. There we go. Just gonna Just gonna get a little bit the root outside, just to help them incorporate with the soil, but not too much. Always remember to be delicate. There we go. Looking very good. So now we're gonna go with our last one, our 4-6 packs for beetroot. Just want to remember with this one, we just need to be a bit more careful because it's a smaller plant and we don't want to damage it while we changing her soil.
Just to make sure that you don't kind of run out of space, you can try and plot this out in advance and see how many you're going to need. So you can see these are substantially less. The depth required is much less than we have done with the other plants. So we can probably say that if we had, our plants here in advance, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the challenge we have now is obviously we've got 24 plants here and we've got 12 spots. Now we want, beetroot you've probably seen from the supermarket can kind of grow from anywhere from this size to this size. So I think we have two options here. We can either plant all of these closer together and get a smaller plant, or we can give them a bit more room and let them grow a bit. What do you reckon we do in this case?
I think then we're gonna give a bit of trust to them and we're just gonna give them a little bit of space and see how it goes.
Okay, amazing.
Yes, definitely.
So what we'll do is out of these 4 different pots here we're going to pull out the kind of 12 healthiest that we can see. 4, 8, 12, 16. My apologies, actually, my maths is terrible.
Yeah.
So we've got 16 spots. So we're going to choose the 16 sort of healthiest looking plants that's in here. It's an element of kind of natural selection where we're going to put the best looking ones to give them the best chance to survive.
Let's go. Being very small, this is not going to give anything to us, so we don't want to put something, it's not going to come out. Oh, I'm just going to be careful here. Give me a hand. Here we go.
Obviously they've been living next door to each other for so long they've become intertwined. So where you can just really gently try and pull these apart.
Yeah, try to reduce the damage as much as possible. When we're dealing with such a small plant, obviously, like this one, they require much more attention to details and much more cure than other bigger plant that we see in this bed. So probably here is, where we're going to give a little bit of check much more often than other plant of the garden, especially when we just give them a new home. In this case. It's like operating someone. So much tension when we have to put this beetroot down. Oh, you see? So we just want to make sure that we leave the leaves of the plant on the outside and we give them some air. Oh, this one looks very good. They look strong and healthy. So just get the leaves up. What you want to do is just want to keep the leaves up and put the small roots down and just get it in touch with the soil. Don't push it too much, otherwise it will die. I know that it's touching the soil, but we're just gonna leave them a little bit of time to recuperate from the operation. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna use a bit of organic fertilizer. Then is made out of fish and seaweed. After this operation, just to help in general plant, in this case more the beetroot, to get its power back a little bit, get on the right way for a growing. Yes.
Wonderful. And just remember the leftover plants you've got here. If you had somewhere else to put them down, you could potentially try. At the very least, make sure they go into your compost pot. The organic material that's in there will go on to become part of this garden in a different way.
Here I got a beautiful organic fertilizer concentrate, which is made out of fish, seaweed, and a wetting agent, which they're gonna help the soil to stay hydrated, and they're gonna be a bit of energy, and they're gonna push the growing of the plant, especially helping them during the cold season as well. So actually, I think Sam, with the full lid like this, you can actually put a bit more water.
Okay.
You can give it a stir if you like it. Yeah, great. Don't drink it.
Bit of mixology.
The first thing then we want to do after we plant is to give a little bit of water to the soil, to the actual soil, just to make sure then the plant they get the right hydration and the right push to be on the right track for the growing. You just don't want it to go on the leaves, especially when we just have put the plants on. So just be really careful and very mindful. You just want to get the soil. Yes, it's really important you don't exaggerate with the amount of water you give daily to your plant. Otherwise, the soil is gonna get too wet, and this is gonna actually occur disease in most of the cases for your garden and for your plants. All the way around. Then we go to our beautiful rhubarb. Both sides. So I'm gonna ask you a favor. If you can gently move me the beetroot. I want to try to don't get the leaves too much, just because it's very weak at the moment, and we don't want to damage it, but we definitely need to give it a little bit of water.
And then I think, just to make sure we've got someone to keep an eye on it when we're not here, we'll leave our young Mario
Leave it over there.
to keep an eye on the plants.
On the beetroot.
He seems pretty happy, right?
Yes, very good.